adventurers. It's so good to be here on this Tuesday. I have recently taken everything apart and put it back together, so it feels a little bit not quite comfortable, but sort of refreshingly different. Like it's just a little tiny change to my brain to keep things interesting. Like enough of a change that I know I can adapt to it. Anyway, that's not at all what we're talking about today. Welcome to Adventurous Spirits. This is a weekly musical podcast in which we share the highs and lows of the adventure of life together, come together to empower and strengthen one another along the journey, and all in all, help one another keep our eyes on the prize. Excuse me. To focus on what really matters, which is one of the easiest things to lose track of. Hold that thought. When you are on a long process of something that you really want to achieve in your life. Whether that particular process is regarding your career, or a creative project, or other things that you want in your life, your day-to-day experience, your health. All of it is an invitation to adventure and connection with fellow adventurers. So this is episode number 36. And I have titled it Victory Lap. Because I've been talking for the last few weeks about that process of pursuing a goal that is long-term, it's future, and then eventually the future becomes the present. And the thing that we've been working towards is happening. It is happening. It's coming at you faster than you can really recognize. And then it becomes this dash to not miss it, be in the thing that is happening all of a sudden. So we're going to take yet another page out of the book of sportsmen in all different disciplines, who I think there is a very established pattern of a victory lap. Once you have seen all of your training pay off by playing the game or running the race, then you just do another lap. You go around again, and this time you're not trying to prove anything, you're just enjoying what you were able to do. And then you go out with your people, your coaches, your friends, your fellow teammates, and you talk about it. You just play the whole thing back. You talk about every little detail and everything you were thinking, everything you were feeling. You just totally relive the whole experience. And that is what I'm planning to do with you today. And I will first invite you to weigh in. So if you're listening now or listening later, what types of events in your life do you consider victory lap event types? Obviously, there are many things that we accomplish in our day and in our lifetime. But are you like a I brushed my teeth victory lap kind of person? Or are you going to save those victory laps for something that is, how do I put this? Something that has a more obvious and tangible impact on your life. It's like, now that I have completed this milestone, my life is different in this way. Obviously, if you don't brush your teeth for a while, your life will be impacted. But that's more of a stepping stone towards the big milestones. I mean, I might be wrong. Tell me how you think about it. But what would be a noteworthy event or a milestone in your life? Something that you worked towards, and then it happened, and now you want to do a victory lap. It's worth considering. I know that I've had conversations with fellow creatives who have worked really hard towards a big project, and it's just one thing after another goes wrong. And I have said something like, man, when this finally comes together, we're gonna go out and have a party, it's gonna be a major celebration. And sometimes it happens. Sometimes it really does happen. And, everyone can get into the spirit of it because we know how much work went into this. And then other times, as soon as that project is finished, it just sort of fizzles. It's like, okay, now move on to the next thing, And I understand how that can happen. I think I do that as well. It is kind of a discipline to celebrate our wins. Let's see, Steve is here. Hello, Steve. Steve says, for me, finishing the run of a show is victory lap worthy. The run of a show. So tell us more. You mean like theater, when you have written a show and performed it? Or I guess you do all kinds of theater, so maybe also performing just on its own. Yes, tell us more about that. But that does sound like a big project, a big ramp up. And then when it's over, your life is different because you are no longer preparing for that show. I got to do 2 big performances this last week, in addition to all the other things that I do just to make money and stay alive kind of things. But on Tuesday, a week ago, I got to go and record a couple of pieces from Handel's Messiah, which in my mind was not too major of an event, but it did require preparing not just what I had already learned from earlier this year, but also I had a bass player to play with me, and so I had to put together an arrangement for him to play, and it didn't come together the way that I wanted it to, but it came together beautifully. The performance went really well. We got a really good recording. And so I can be tempted to get all wrapped up in the analysis of how it went, what I expected versus how it turned out. The fact is, it actually did go really well. A lot of people were in the room who were moved. They told me how much they enjoyed it. And that is not the end of that project's life. I did that recording for the purpose of using it for another thing, which I will wait to talk about until that thing happens. Probably early 2024. Partly because I realized how much work it's going to be to get ready for the next step. And I'm going to need this time going into the end of the year to prepare so that when we get to 2024, I actually have everything that I need in order to do that well. I don't really have a song about that. I thought today, since I'm fresh off the angsty 80s sing-along last night, which was also a victory lap worthy event, that I would just play something easy and fun and something that doesn't take too much effort. But hopefully it's still nice to hear. So if you have any sunglasses nearby, I invite you to sing along. Maybe if I wear sunglasses at night, well, people will think I'm famous if I always close my eyes. Well, maybe they'll think I'm blind. Let me try that again. Maybe they'll think I'm blind. Oh, but eventually everyone sees what I am. Yeah, you know they'll know what I am. Well, if I wear my sunglasses at night, I can't see where I'm going if I never open my eyes. Well, I might as well be blind. Oh, but eventually, oh yeah, eventually, everyone sees. Sunglasses, wearing our sunglasses, because sunglasses protect our eyes from the sun. Sunglasses, wearing our sunglasses, because sunglasses protect our eyes from the sun. Sunglasses, wearing our sunglasses, because sunglasses protect our eyes from the sun. That's the song called Sunglasses. And that's a nice cozy way into our podcast today. Steve, is there anything forthcoming? Do you have a project that you're knee-deep in right now that once you have completed it, you will see yourself running a victory lap, recounting all the ins and outs and highs and lows of that project? I want to say thank you publicly for everything you did to make last night victorious. I know Steve was such an advocate for this show. And then he came early, he helped set up, he helped clean up. He was all in for the show itself. And let me tell you, it was a sight to behold. If you're following me on Instagram, I reposted the story where we see Steve just in another element, just taking it all up a notch, and the crowd loved it. So let me back up a little bit in case you're unfamiliar. Last night was September 18th, which is a date that has been very prominent in my heart and mind for my entire life because it's also my mom's birthday. And it also just wound up being the best day for Epiphany Space to put on its annual LA fundraiser. And our fundraisers are not necessarily prestigious galas that you might have been to for other nonprofits. We like to dress up in costumes and sing along to songs from the soundtracks of different 80s movies. So last night, I had concocted this show based on songs from the soundtracks to Pretty in Pink, to The Breakfast Club, Ferris Bueller, and 16 Candles. It was a very eclectic performance. We had 7 different artists performing solos, and then also we came together on a few songs and made a little impromptu band. which was a lot of fun. And then most of the songs were catchy enough that the whole room could sing along without too much difficulty. And it was super, super fun. The energy in the room was so infectious. There was a lot of joy. There was a lot of excitement. There was a lot of buy-in. And once we got to... So another peculiar element of this show was we gave to certain ticket holders, if you wanted to go above and beyond the standard ticket and get a $50 ticket, then you could also read one of the roles as one of the characters, and you got to choose which character you wanted to play. And so we had a couple of people who wanted to play Ducky in Pretty in Pink, which I understand. Ducky is a very memorable, classic character. But Steve took it up a notch. So Steve read the role of Ducky, and then he completely committed to the scene. And while I was singing Try a Little Tenderness by Otis Redding, he did the Ducky lip sync dance. You remember that scene? He got a lot of applause for that. It was a big gutsy move, and he fully committed to it. Let's see, Steve says the show, you're talking about last night. The show was amazing. Glad to be a part of it, both as a helper and as an attendee. As for my own projects, the Fairy Tales workshop that I'm putting together is the main one right now. It's going to be a pretty major deal for me for the next month. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So if you're not aware, Steve is a writer, and he also produces a lot of theater. And so he has a lot of experience adapting fairy tales, and he's teaching a workshop. I think is it called Fairy Tale? Oh, what's it called? I'm gonna mess it up. I know it's on October 14th. It's here in Hollywood. You can attend in person. It sounds like a lot of fun. I will be working that day, so I can't participate, but I look forward to hearing the stories of those who did. Also, Steve, where can people go to sign up for that? So, in addition to how joyous last night was, I will say that part of the stress of it for me was I was working on the script right up until about half an hour before showtime, which meant that I was running a little bit late setting up. And then I arrived at the venue, and a lot of the stage equipment that is normally just there was not there. So it wasn't too difficult to go find the keyboard and set that up and figure out our stage plot and everything, but it just threw me a little bit to show up and be like, oh, there's nothing on the stage, ha ha ha, now what do we do? And I'm very grateful that I had so many friends there who just chipped in and helped out. Specifically my friend Charles, who just took the sound gear and figured it out and was like, oh, here's where this plugs in, and here's how this works with the mixer. And I barely touched it the whole night. So I want to celebrate the way that people just showed up for me and for Becky. The two of us were putting this event on together. Yeah, and then, Becky was all done with her stuff, and she came and asked me, can I help you with something? And I was like, yes, take these scripts and hand them out to the people who are reading them. And she got those all organized. Okay, so Steve's show is called, it's Retelling Fairy Tales. It's October 14th at Epiphany Space. So, Steve, we should put the link for that on the Epiphany Space website, so that if you're interested, anyone who's listening, if you would like to learn more about how to retell a fairy tale in any format, I believe, and I think even in the workshop they'll be working on it, then you can just go to epiphanyspace.com and learn all about it. So yes, so many cool memories from last night, and I think part of the joy of seeing all of the people coming together, all of the costumes. We had costumes for the first time. We had put it out there as a costume contest, and I was feeling kind of iffy on that. Like, it's a Monday night, people might be coming from work. Will they have the time and the wherewithal to dress up, or will they just be like, I'm wearing suspenders, it's 80s, you know? And people dressed up. People really dressed up, and I loved Steve's ducky costume. He had a cool hat and he had cool sunglasses, and yeah, it was everything that I hoped. I mean, there were a few people that I would have loved to see there that had things come up at the last minute and they weren't able to attend. But otherwise, yeah, win-win, win-win-win. Now, of course, we wake up on Tuesday morning and there's a leaf blower and there's a ton of construction across the street, and there are meetings and there are commitments and there are deadlines and there are technical support issues, and there are just realities. There are realities to check all of my enthusiasm. However, I'm sticking to it. I'm saying, forget it. I need to celebrate. This was a lot of work by a lot of people, and we all came together and we made it happen, and it was really, really fun. I will be sharing more photos from that night because I took a couple, but a lot of people took a bunch of pictures, and we have some really fun pictures. So I just want to play this song because I haven't played it in a while. Apropos of not really anything that we're talking about it. It's just a fun song. Sing along if you know it. I know that genius can't be bound up in deadlines. Still, I hope you know I'm waiting with bated breath, with open eyes, watching sea and sky, and soon everything will be revealed when you build your time machine. Thanks for sending the ticket link, Steve. Maybe in honor of the fairy tale retelling story, concept, I'll play my fairy tale song. This is called The Story's Not Over. It's all about 3 different fairy tales, each one of which is not that scary anymore because we know how it ends. So, whatever adventure you might be facing where you're not really sure what's going to happen, just recognize you're not alone. Try to remember what you're looking forward to for that victory lap. What will make this successful? What really needs to happen? Sometimes it's deliverance from certain death. Sometimes it's rescuing somebody. Sometimes it's just the experience. And then you learn from that one for the next adventure. Alright, I'm gonna quit talking and sing the song. Locked behind bars of her fixed circumstances, she sings to the forest while gazing outside. Stranded but hopeful, she waits through the boredom, watching horizons and biding her time. But the story's not over, the end's yet to come. She can let her hair down when love comes around. Locked in a tower as high as the sky, as she watches the world pass by. Losing the words again. I have a habit of forgetting the words to this song. So she's wow, it's really not coming. And has a good cry. Overwhelmed by the sheer impossibilities, bound by a promise and caught in a lie. But the story's not over, the end's yet to come. There's beauty and grace in this dreadful place, spinning and spinning and spinning again. Who knows what will happen then? Laden with purpose and burning with mission, she marches through treacherous paths in the wild. Waylaid by cunning and cruel devices, she falls for a trap laid by dangerous minds. But the story's not over, the end's yet to come. The monsters at night are more bark than bite. The story's not over, the end's yet to be. Look beyond what the eye can see. And so, my dear listener, when you hear this song, remember your tale is still going on. A question that I asked myself a lot in preparation preparation for this last week of things, and in all the preparations, feeling varying degrees of being either ill-equipped or just not doing this very well, not as well as I wanted to. The question I asked myself was, what is it for? What do I want to accomplish with this event, with this recording, with this thing that I just need to prepare? And it's causing me, I feel pressured, I feel not anxious, but it's just weighty. Like, I care a lot about this, and it helped me to think about what really is important. And I realized, which is not unusual, was that I really just wanted to give all of my creative artist friends a chance to decompress from the pressure that they've been feeling and to celebrate together, to grasp the power that music and movies and these cultural influences have on our world and on our lives, and what fun they offer for us to be able to come together and talk about them. Sort of that water cooler effect of, oh, did you see this? And, you know, the shared references of calling out different phrases or characters. And I just wanted to experience that with my friends. I wanted to draw some new people into my group of friends. And once I clarified that for myself, it just made it so much more fun. Because those are things I love. I love getting people together, both friends and strangers and acquaintances. I love getting them together and then just talking about cool stuff that we all like. And when we have creative jobs, when we have work that is in a creative industry, it's easy for us to lose the fun part of it. You know, you get wrapped up in the work part of it, the business side of show. There's no business like show business, and that sometimes is not great for us as human beings. And I definitely saw that happen this last week. I saw us come together and connect and enjoy the fun parts of show, the show part of show business. So I'm gonna enjoy that victory. I'm gonna enjoy it a little bit longer and just bask in it. And recognize that it was a lot of work to get to this day, Tuesday, September 19th. It was a lot of work to get here. And I think I'm gonna enjoy a little bit more time at the piano and maybe even some chocolate or something. I brought a book today so that after I'm finished taking apart my setup here, I can just read for a little bit. So I have some plans of what to do with my time now that I have a little bit of a reprieve from the intensity of the last few weeks. And I wish the same for you. I hope that, Steve, that you have a day of leisure or just relative leisure available to you after you've pulled off this workshop. Gosh, the word was escaping me. Just to celebrate how it went and to celebrate that you did it. You put something out there, you invited people into it, and you gave them a gift in the form of this workshop. And everybody made memories, everybody had takeaways. You inspired some people to then go and adapt some of their favorite fairy tales. Let's celebrate it. Come and tell us about it after it happens. We will all victory lap with you. And also share it in the Facebook group. We have a Adventurous Spirits Facebook group, facebook.com/groups/Adventurous Spirits. And anyone else who might be listening now or later, come and tell us what your victory laps are about, what you're celebrating, and anything that you're in the middle of that you're looking forward to celebrating later, what that celebration will look like, and what the victory will look like. It's also important to keep that in focus. So until then, you have fun out there. I'll see you next week.